Sorry, biker. Now that's an exhaust V12, baby. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another video of Plate Club. Today I'll be doing the long-term review of my 440i. As you can see, put the summer wheels back on. And today I'm gonna be talking about all the stuff I like and hate about this car. Because it's slowly going back to stock, and I probably should make this video before all this stuff just disappears and it goes back to stock. Just taking a walk around the car. It looks pretty good, to be honest. I haven't had these wheels on in a while, but you know what? It's not so bad. Not that my Braylon rims are bad at all, and they actually look much better on this car, but the stock wheels aren't actually bad with 19 inches. Since I have the M Performance package, they come in this black and silver trim that's half and half. Gives the car a nice little sporty look. But without further ado, let's begin. I'm gonna start with all the stuff that I hate. Number one, things I hate the most on this car is actually these Runflat tires. They are not very good for summer, I mean, or just in general. It's pretty harsh, makes the ride a little firm. Pretty, they have a decent amount of road noise. But grip-wise and stuff, it's not so bad. I mean, it is what it is. BMW just decided to give you Runflat tires, and I just didn't bother to change them for some reason. But yeah, over the course of having this car for about 4 years, I've actually broken at least 6 to 7 of these tires, especially in the front. There's a lot of potholes here in Toronto. The roads aren't perfect, but usually I get a bunch of bubbles here and there, and I have to replace the whole tire. Yeah, just potholes. Not very pothole friendly, Runflat tires, and you can't really just patch them or anything if you get a nail because, you know, run flat. But yeah, that's the one thing I really don't like about this car. I don't know why they decided to give Runflat tires on these cars, but I guess it's so that, you know, if you get a flat, you don't have to change the wheel yourself. You can call the towing for free from BMW since it's under warranty and whatnot. But it's not the ideal tire you want on like a car like this, especially if you plan on tuning it or just driving it pretty hard. I mean, something like a Michelin PS4s would probably be better, but I just didn't do it because, you know, I'm cheap. But it is what it is. Second thing that I don't actually like, which I've actually fixed, is these things right here used to be orange, these little side markers for the US regulations, and they just, I don't know if you can imagine, you can look up a picture on Google or something, but there's this yellow side marker over here that makes the car look super awkward. Especially, it doesn't matter what color you get it in, it doesn't really blend in with the body, and it would just stick out right here, this little orange piece. And along with that is this orange light that is in here. And when you have the daytime running lights on, it just kind of makes the whole light look yellow and not that modern look of the white LEDs that you would usually get on most cars. But I coated them off, so you know, they look pretty good at night now, because all you see is this daytime running light here at night and in daytime. But with those things on, it's not a very pretty car at night, and it's quite a big orange, I guess, glow, and it doesn't really fit with the rest of the car. It makes it look a lot less aggressive and more bass, I guess. But you know, it's not something that you can't fix. It's just, if you get one of these cars, I would highly recommend to just turn them off and get these side markers replaced, or else you won't be able to get this nice BMW look like they have in Europe. So, because the Euro specs are actually just better. But yeah, that's the second thing that I don't really like. Third thing I don't really like is actually the tail lights on this car. I don't know why, but this is the second gen of the 4 Series, because I have a 440. But for 2017, decided to just give you these old lights, and they're not like exactly LED. I don't know if you can see them, but they're not LEDs, they're just half LEDs, because when you have the signals on, it's just a light bulb, and they don't really look all that aggressive compared to the LCI ones or even the M4CS OLEDs. Not the biggest deal, but I had to get them tinted so they kind of blend with the rest of the car. If you don't have them tinted, they're actually very, very, very red, and actually they're as red as this thing right here, this reflector, which I just didn't bother doing for some reason. But you can see the difference here, how darker it is, and it just bends in with more of this black car look. But without LCI taillights, I don't know, these cars kind of look a little dated in my opinion. But that's just personal preference, it's not the biggest deal. It looks fine when you just have the, I guess, the LEDs on at night, which I have them. I have coated these lights actually so that they stay on during the daytime, so you know, it looks a little bit better. But there's not much you could really do unless you get the whole light swapped out. The thing that I actually hate most about this car is, actually at first I thought it was a pretty neat feature, but over time it actually doesn't really work very well, and it's this seatbelt giver thing right here. You see, it's supposed to give you your seatbelt, but over time it actually doesn't hook on, and then you would just have to be forced to grab your seatbelt here and break your shoulder. But yeah, it is what it is. It's supposed to just give you this hook right here and just be all nice and, you know, easy going, but it doesn't actually do that over time. I don't know what it is. Maybe I gotta iron the seatbelt back in to make it nice and flat, but over time use it doesn't actually hook up, and it's just a waste of, I guess, space. And other cars just do it better, like Mercedes or any other car. They have like a little piece over here that actually holds the seatbelt in place and it will never leave this, but this is just like a little cheap trick they use to kind of give it a little hook. On the passenger side, it actually works pretty well. I don't know why, maybe it's my habits or not. The passenger side is never unhooked before, but on the driver's side, it's been unhooking, and it's not very fun, because every time you would expect the seatbelt here, but then you actually have to reach back here and do this, and it's a very awkward position. The next thing that I actually don't like about this car is the Bluetooth audio, actually. So when you connect your phone on a different car, or in general, you expect your audio to play instantly, but in this car it doesn't actually. It lags about 5 to 10 seconds behind your actual audio, and it just makes it awkward. So if, let's say you want to watch a YouTube video in your car connected to Bluetooth, the audio and the video actually doesn't sync up, and it's just not a very pleasant experience. When you're listening to music, however, you don't really care since you're just driving, but to skip a track, sometimes it takes about 3 to 5 seconds before it skips a track, and then it starts playing the song you want. And it would just be playing the old track that you would already be playing before switching to the new one for like an extra 5 seconds. So in the event where you're, let's say you're playing like rock music and it's super loud, your passengers doesn't like it, and they tell you to switch it, which my girlfriend always tells me, and it takes, you have to endure that sound for about 5 seconds, or you have to put the car on mute for 5 seconds until it switches to the next song that you want. It's just, I don't understand. It's you know, this is not old tech, it is not like new technology, shouldn't be like this, but it happens in every BMW. It happens in my friend's 6 Series, happens in all these BMWs. I don't know about the new ones, but the only fix that I've seen so far that has been for these cars is that if you have the Apple CarPlay, which my car does not, since that thing is linked to Wi-Fi or something, so I guess the transfer of data is more instant. The final and the last thing that I don't actually like about this car is the seats and the neck rest. So a regular seat will look like this, and when you lean back, I don't know, maybe it's because of my height or something, or my shape, it doesn't really feel comfortable. I mean, it just feels like there's an empty spot on your neck, and it's just not very comfortable on long drives. And if you were to rest your head on the headrest, you would be like this, and it's not a very comfortable driving position. So what I did to actually help that is get these little neck rests over here, and then it's super nice. But other than that, yeah, there's not many things I really hate about this car. There's not anything that you can't really fix, to be honest. Enough of the things that I don't like about this car. There's actually a lot of things I really love about my 440i. One of them is actually daily comfort. Surprisingly uncomfortable. This car is quite drivable on a daily basis. I mean, it is a 440i, it's not an M4, so it doesn't have the stiffest suspension. But on sport, the suspension does spiff up, and it makes the ride a lot more firm. However, if you're just traveling around town and you're just trying to go to places or do your errands, actually it's quite comfortable. The rear seats are huge. The trunk space and the practicality is insane, because if you take a look here, I usually go a lot of shopping at Costco. This is a lot of space here. You could fit a lot of things, and the rear seats fold down, and I'm actually able to fit 4 full tires, 4 wheels actually, with the tires and the rims, 19-inch all around, all inside the car once I have the seats folded down. And the rear seats are probably one of the biggest rear seats I've ever sat in for any coupe of any kind. So to get in the rear seat, you know, you just do one of these and you just get in. And surprisingly, it's pretty big. Behind myself, I have quite a bit of legroom here. And I sit pretty back, I would say. I've actually taken this car on a road trip with 4 people before, and it's been pretty comfortable. Everybody was here on a 5-hour drive, and it was rather comfortable, to be honest. Nobody was complaining, and it's quite cozy in here because you got this, like, I guess bucket shaped, I don't know, seat and door thing that you just kind of lay down and you're really chilling, and the music back here is really nice. And yeah, it's a really big car in the back. And obviously you get these cup holders and have your drinks here. You know, it's a vibe when you're just having a few friends in here and just chilling in the back. Unlike some other coupes, for example, my friends C43s or even Audi S5s, this is nowhere as near as big as this rear seat. Everybody that gets back in here is surprised by the size. So am I, to be honest, even though I rarely sit back here. I'm always the driver. But yeah, this car is very spacious and just comfortable. There's even a air conditioning system back here and a charger that you could use. And some storage space on the back seats. It's pretty comfortable back here. There's nothing to complain about, to be honest. I don't know why you would get a Grand Coupe other than for the extra doors. But I settled with the coupe and haven't regretted it since. I've actually had 5 people in this car once. Surprisingly, there's no seat in the middle. Don't do it. But you could technically fit someone here in the middle and still get around. Next thing I really like about my 440i is the looks. Just look at this thing. Whatever BMW did to this car, it's quite aggressive. Not as aggressive as the M4, but you know, it's not bad. It's really not bad. The lines are very aggressive, and you got some fenders here and there on the left side over here, and it's just a good looking car. It's a great looking car. Much better than the G series. I don't want to really talk about that. I know there's some fans of the new G series. I'm not the biggest fan. Regular size grills, that's the way to go. But yeah, like every time I park this car, I back it in and I just stare at it, and it's just good looking from back, front, side, whatever it is. It's just a good looking car in general. The proportions are right. Door's not too big, not too long. This car's also got great visibility. Windshield's nice and big, and because it's a coupe, you don't have a B pillar on your peripheral vision. You actually get to see everything. There's nothing wrong with the visibility in this car. The rear window is nice and big as well. I lost some visibility due to my lip spoiler, but hey, it's for the looks, right? But yeah, and you get a sunroof too, so it's pretty well lit in here. If you were to just drive with your windows down and the sunroof open, it's a very nice experience. Next thing I actually really like is that this car is actually X-Drive, so it's all-wheel drive, and it's honestly, it's a winter machine. During winter, I have never gotten stuck with this car with winter tires on, and it just plows through snow like nothing, and it just keeps going, and there's no traction issues whatsoever. The X-Drive on this is actually really good. I mean, even though it's rear wheel biased, you could actually have quite a lot of fun in winter with it if you decided to go into Sport Plus, have the traction half off or just completely off. You could do some crazy donuts. If you follow my Instagram, I've done a few of those. And even in summer, it hooks up. So if you're trying to go from 0, you know, and you just want to floor it, the car will barely have any traction issues, even with a stage 2 tune on it. It just flies, which gets me to the next point of the thing that I really like. This car, the thing I like about it the most is how fast it is. It's crazy fast on stage 2. Even stock, it's not a slow car by any means. You can gap almost anybody on the highway. Most cars that you would see on the day would be pretty much slower than this car, and especially with stage 2, this thing is mad fast. It's really fast. I mean, like I've said in the previous video, I've gapped M4s, M5s. It's pretty insane. With the all-wheel drive, you literally don't lose any traction. And if anything, this is just as fast, if not faster than an M car on a rolling base. It's just a very capable machine. And once you have it on comfort or whatever, it's just a nice low cruiser. It's not too loud, it's not too fast, the throttle's not twitchy. You can just get it along. But hey, if you want to put the power down, it's there. It's really there. Another thing that I actually really like about this car is this little space right here, because if you have, you know, it's COVID, so you have your hand sanitizer and a bottle of water. That's it. You don't have any more storage space. Over here, whatever you put, if you accelerate too hard or brake too hard, it might just fall out. This little spot right here between the handbrake is great for just leaving your phone. This is like the perfect spot to leave your wallet or phone or anything. It doesn't fall out, can't slide down, and every time you put the car in park, you should pull your handbrake and you'll never forget it. This is a great little spot right here. I also really like the heated steering wheel right here for winter. This is like probably my favorite comforting part about this car. So during winter, you could just come into your car, have the heated steering wheel, have your heated seats on right here, and you'll just be super warm. You could even have all of these things on with the AC at max, with the windows down, which I do sometimes in the winter, so I could still hear my exhaust and still kind of go for like a spirited drive with the windows down and everything. And you stay warm at the same time. Your hands, your feet, everything. It's very nice to have this heated steering wheel, to be honest, because in Canada here it's really cold and your hands are probably the coldest things when you first get into your car. Now, the most favorite part of this whole car is definitely the sound of the B58, especially when you pair it with this AWE exhaust. It is insane. If you follow me on Instagram or have seen the montage that I've made for this car, you will know how loud this car is. You know what? I'll just do some driving clips and some drive-bys right here, since we got a pretty big parking lot. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up about this I guess, long-term review of things I like and don't like about this 440i of mine. There's not really much things that I could really complain about this car. It's gotten me through the past 4 years without any hiccups, except for breaking a few tires, which is my fault, going through potholes. And like I've said, those run flats are not the best. So if you did want or are looking to get one of these cars, swap out the tires or get tire insurance from BMW so that you don't have to deal with replacing the tires on potholes. That's probably the thing I hate most. Everything else, this car's been pretty good. It's been pretty good to me. Not any issues, no mechanical errors or electronic issues. It's held up pretty well for the past 4 years, and I've had the car since 0 kilometers roughly. Had it brand new, and now it's sitting at 55,000 kilometers on the dash after about 4 years. It's been holding up well. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's safe to say the B58 is very reliable, and it's very capable at the same time for putting down power. It's a great all-around daily driver.